What's going on, fellow A pluses? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new movie review as we're going to be talking about a pretty unknown film that wind up just dropping this week titled Watch the Skies. This is, in fact, a foreign film from Sweden that was distributed here in the US this year. I believe this originally dropped in Sweden back in 2022, and it's now just getting a US distribution as of May 9th. This was actually a film that I did not know about. I was looking for movies to check out, and I happened across this trailer, and the trailer completely captured me. They really talked about this film in the veins of that of like a Steven Spielberg or a J.J. Abrams sort of mystery sci-fi adventure that feels very classic, sort of Steven Spielberg, if you will. If you're a big believer of UFOs, if you love aliens, if you love the concept of like teenagers coming of age type of stories, it really fits all into this kind of category and wind up becoming quite magical when I actually wind up watching it for myself and wind up becoming a really big fan. I was lucky to kind of find this viewing of Watch the Skies at an early access on Wednesday before its distribution on Friday, May 9th. I tried to look for other viewings for it throughout the rest of the weekend, but I was not able to. So I'm kind of hoping word of mouth, people showing up at these screenings will allow the theaters to maybe put it in more screens for people to get the opportunity to certainly check out, because it is definitely hidden gem that I recommend everybody certainly go ahead and check out. If you have not heard about this film, the synopsis reads as convinced that her father was abducted by aliens, a rebellious teen and members of a UFO club embark on an adventure that takes them far beyond the boundaries of our world. What the synopsis does not include, though, is that this belief of her father being abducted by aliens happens when she is a very little kid. Her father kind of brought her up in the sense of believing we're not alone, believing in his own beliefs, and she's pretty much along with him for the ride of his UFO hunting, if you will, along with his UFO club titled UFO Sweden. When he is quote unquote abducted by aliens in here, this really has huge implications for the lives of everybody involved. It forces his daughter to then go into a foster home and become this rebellious teen. People consider her a weirdo because of the things that she certainly believes in. But it also winds up taking away the credibility and job opportunities from people that are involved within this particular UFO club. And people continue to certainly look down about them, have nothing but terrible things to say about them. And it really ruins a lot of people's lives. So as we jump into this film, when she is in fact this rebellious team, it definitely makes for an interesting dynamic and a story for them to tell in this movie. So let's go ahead and talk about this. I think for me, one of the underlining themes that I really enjoyed was sort of like, for some people in this movie, the lack of believing because of how much this belief of theirs really kind of ruin their lives. And to have somebody like this rebellious teen, by the character of Denise, kind of then coming back into this UFO club's life, it is really cool to kind of see that journey of wanting to disregard some of the things that she has to say, trying to stick to more factual things instead of sort of taking leaps of faith, and to kind of see that belief growing within people once again in the sense of finding your joy in what it is that you certainly used to do, regardless certainly of what people say. I found really important in here, and I kind of see that belief beginning to build, them taking chances, taking more risks, because of the fact that they want to find the truth of certainly what's out there. I actually found that really inspiring. And we do have two main actors in this movie that I thought were really great. The actress that plays Denise is Inez Horhog, if I'm pronouncing her name right, along with the character Leonard, played by Jesper Orxelius. I like most of the cast, to be honest with you. The UFO Club is just really quirky and quacky. That makes it really easy to kind of fall in them, love with them. Some pretty funny, humorous aspects to this film. Also, there are some characters I really could not care about that kind of maybe rubbed me the wrong way, or maybe just from a acting perspective I didn't necessarily care about. But the two protagonists, and Denise and Leonard, really carry this particular movie for me in the sense of seeing where they start off with with a lot of friction. But as this movie goes on, considering their connection to her father, seeing how much closer it winds up bringing them, kind of building this faux sort of father-daughter relationship, and really the concept of somebody having your back for you. Even when there are people out there that are certainly doubting you and helping you reignite the belief that you have in yourself and what it is that you're certainly doing. I mean, there was a lot of great emotions in here. I think what really carried this movie for me was the heart of a lot of the characters. There are times, if I had any cons to this movie, that Denise, while a protagonist, sometimes is not the most likable of protagonists because of her upbringing, because of the stuff that she's had to do. It's very quick for her to kind of turn on people that seemingly are ready to walk away from her, sort of thing. So some of the things that she tells people in here, you're like, that's kind of a dick move of you. So there are moments where Denise, maybe not the most likable, which you can kind of understand why she's in that particular mindset. And there are times I think for me the aspects of this movie that are a little bit too slow. But once it hits, it really hits. Like for me, when it comes to this film, the final act of this movie is incredible. Whenever they discover new mysteries or they start putting pieces together even more, great stuff. I mean, really great final act of this movie with an incredible musical score, incredible visual effects, whether they be visual or special effects. I think they did a remarkable job with this in that regards also. But there are some times where maybe it feels a little bit too slow, but it is carried by its heart and its emotions and its character relationships. And for me, it really made for fun film. Now, what I was talking about at the beginning of this being a Swedish film, most people kind of get turned off a little bit about the idea of it being a foreign film, whether that be the idea of you've got to read subtitles and listen to the Swedish accents and the Swedish vocabulary. That's not the case here with Watch the Skies. What they did and what they were lucky with was a lot of the people in their cast not only traditionally spoke Swedish, but they also spoke English as well. And so while this film was filmed in Swedish, what they then went back and did was get these actors to say the same lines again, but in English. They did some voice work for these characters. And then what they wind up doing is they use this technology, which they refer to as AI dubbed, which allow them to then take the actors' voices and their mouth movements of them speaking English, and they literally dubbed it sort of over the visual effects of this movie so that the AI was able to sort of track and change the movements of their mouth as they're talking English. So sometimes when you see like a dubbed foreign film, you hear them speaking English, but their lips on the screen just do not match. Here in Watch the Skies, it matches and it matches perfectly, and you still have the actors sort of performing this film. So it's not taken away from what the actors are certainly doing, which I thought was incredible. And to be honest with you, when I watched the movie myself, I honestly thought that this movie was filmed in English, just maybe over in Sweden, thus the accents, if you will. But the fact that this looks so seamless and so perfect, I really do think that this will allow people here in the States, if utilized more, to be able to embrace foreign films just a little bit better, a little bit more smoother, and not feel sort of the disjointedness at times when it comes to watching a foreign film. It was so convincing to me, and it really kind of helped elevate this movie. So overall, man, I had a really good time with this movie. Again, I had my cons, but again, from the story perspective, the relationships, some of the great performances from especially the two protagonists in here, combined with the visual effects and cinematic, like it feels like a Spielberg film in the regards to how it's being directed, cinematography. Also, you get sort of like those J.J. Abrams lens flares and stuff. You can really feel the inspiration in here. But when all put together, I think we have ourselves a really special and hidden gem on our hands here with Watch the Sky. So check out your local theaters if you can find it. Spend an afternoon, spend a morning, spend an evening to go ahead and check out this film for sure. But if anything, I'll probably drop my report card for this towards the end of the month. But that's going to do it for me. Look, guys, at the end of the day, I want to know your thoughts. These are simply my A+ opinions. I want to know yours. If you had the opportunity to check out Watch the Skies, let me know. If you check out the trailer, let me know what you think. And if you're going to check it out for yourself, I certainly want to know. But until next time, do me a big favor, as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.